So I made sure to draw 5 lines. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means there's also going to be 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where I'm going to place my notes. I did put my treble clef at the beginning, so I will be using notes in a higher range. All right, so the melody, instead of the number of beats, like the rhythm, is based on the alphabet, the music alphabet. But there are not 26 letters in our alphabet. There are only 7. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There are 5 lines, but you always start at the bottom. Well, we're going to come over here, and on this very bottom line, we need to know this is always, always, always an E. Notice I made sure that the line went right through it. That makes this a line note. Now, that's obviously not a note. So let me show you what the note that goes with it would look like. Let's use whole notes just because they're nice and neat. I'm going to draw my oval for my whole note. See, the line again went right through the middle. Now let me back up so you can see how that looks on the staff. Okay, see it? Very bottom line, the first line is an E. Now, that means no matter what instrument I can go to, I know to always play an E. So on my keyboard, look down, I know to play an E. An E is always, see how they're grouped in 2 notes, or 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys. An E is always right after the group of 2 black keys. Now, because we drew a whole note, the oval, we know that we have to play an E for 4 beats. So I would go to my keyboard and I would play E, 2, 3, 4. Now that I know what it sounds like, I know I could sing an E for 4. E, 2, 3, 4. That is exactly the note that says to play. Let's look at the rest of the lines. Let's divide them into groups of lines and spaces. So now I have my E. I'm going to go to my second line. E, here's my second line. I started from the bottom. This is going to be a G. Again, the line goes right through the middle. Line notes always have a line through the middle. If I were to use a whole note, again, it's an oval with a line straight through the middle. Okay? Let's continue on and finish all of them. E, G, third line. The middle line is B. Again, through the middle. Okay? Going on up, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have D. Okay, again, here we go. And last but not least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have an F. Okay, double check all my work for me. Make sure Miss Webb, can't figure out which way to go. Make sure Miss Webb did not make any mistakes. Does my staff have 5 lines? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Do I have a note on every single line? E, G, B, D, F. Yes. Does the line go through the middle of all of my notes? Yes, 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 and yes. Awesome. So you're probably going, that's a lot to remember, Miss Webb. I'm going to fix my hair while I'm doing this since this camera helps me see that. I know it's a lot to remember. You're like, okay, how do I know which letter goes where? They look like they're pretty random up there. There's a sentence you can use. there are several different sentences, but there's one Miss Webb tends to use more than anything else. Okay. I like elephants and this is not grammatically correct. We'll forgive ourselves for that. Elephants got big, dirty, feet. See it? Elephants got big, dirty feet. I underlined the first note of each word because that represents each of our notes, our pitches on the staff. Okay? So let's start it down at the E. Elephants got big, dirty feet. Some people also say Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. Some people say every good boy does fine. Some people say every good bird does fly. Whichever sentence you use, it doesn't matter as long as you get the same result. E, G, B, D, F. Just remember the one that is the easiest for you to use. Because some of them you feel like you need to add an extra word, and that causes you to have the wrong letters. Like, if you use Elvis, some people try to say Elvis's guitar broke down on Friday. Well, there is no O in the music alphabet, so it might confuse you. So, just use the one you feel best about. Now, that takes care of our lines. Woo! Did y'all enjoy falling right there? Did you lose your stomach for a minute? Feel like you're on a roller coaster? Sorry about that. Okay, let's look at the spaces. Spaces are equally important. Okay? Let's start right here. When you write your notes for the spaces, remember how on the lines I told you had to make sure the line went straight through the middle? Well, on a space, you make sure not to touch the lines. See how there's a little bit of space on each side? That way there is no doubt in your mind that that is a space note. This first one is an F. Okay, let's go to the second one. 1, 2. It's going to be an A. Let's go up one. It's a C. And then our very top space. Oh, let me add some lines here. Is going to be an E. Now right away you probably notice that spells the word face. F-A-C-E. That's how some people remember this. But because it rhymes with space. So face fills space. But that's not how Miss Webb does it because that's boring. Miss Webb likes to be exciting. So Miss Webb is going to say, you ready? Fat. Albert. Causes. Earthquakes. Okay. Can you see it? Fat, Albert, causes earthquakes. And again, I underlined the first letter. Now, when in doubt, there is a way to figure this out that never fails. As long as you remember the very first letter on the staff is always E. It's called your alphabet. If you can remember your alphabet, you can remember all your lines and spaces. But remember, our alphabet only goes to G, and then it starts over. So, let me do it over here. E for the line, F for the space, G. Isn't that our alphabet? E, F, G. And then when we sang the alphabet earlier, we went A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Look at there. It went in alphabetical order. Got that? So actually, if I were to keep going and do even more notes up here, we'd know it'd go D, E, F. What would come next? Exactly. G. Same thing at the beginning. If we wanted to put the notes back down here, we need to figure out what comes before E in the alphabet. So A, B, C, exactly. D would go right there. Is that making much sense to you now? Hi. How are you? Alrighty. Now I'm going to step back so you can see all of this. See if there's anything you missed. Miss Webb does not know how to drive this thing. Okay, there you go. Alright. Now, are you getting dizzy from moving around? Alrighty. Notice all the line notes have lines going through them. All the space notes sit right in the middle of the lines, in the spaces. I got a nice pretty treble clef at the beginning to tell us these are going to be higher notes. Then we have our sentences to help us remember E, G, B, D, F. Elephants got big dirty feet. We have our sentence at the bottom to help us remember our spaces that spell face. Fat Albert causes earthquakes. Now, we're going to play a game to give you practice identifying these pitches. Almost said notes. It's really not the same thing. These pitches on the staff. I'll leave the staff on the board to help you. And we are going to play lines and spaces. I'll hold up a flashcard. On the flashcard will be one whole note. Just one. There will not be a letter beside it. You will have to look at that whole note on the card. Look at the staff. Find a whole note that is in the same exact spot. And what letter is beside it, be the first one to yell out that letter. Maybe I should show you an example. What do you think? Now, some of you have played this before, but maybe it's been a while. So, just to make sure everybody is on the same page, let's look at it again. Just to double check. We don't want anybody being left out. Okay, so if you look at this, you'll notice that this whole note, if you count from the bottom, is on the 1, 2, 3. Third line, right in the middle. So let's look at our board. And what line is right in the middle? 1, 2, 3. So if this were my card, I'd shout out, B! All right, let's do one more. Oh, it's a space. Ooh. Now on this one, you've got to be careful. Right down here by my thumb is actually not one of our spaces. Start where the bottom line is and count right above that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right up here. Looking at our board, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if this were my card, I would shout out, E!